All right, you're doing normal for me now, so that's good. But I'm still frozen. I don't know what's going on.
Well, I believe
I am having a big storm. So
okay. Well, I believe that we are now live. And welcome to the Seers, because the Seers are having technical difficulties. But that's all right, because this is our first show and we are here trying to do our best to just see how this is like a test pilot. So for everyone that is like waiting, just know that we are doing, think of this as a test run. But the point is I've got them here. Look, we can actually see Lala now. Anne's in California, and it's a warm day in California, so she's here with us and doing her best to be here. And there, look, Lala looks so cute. Everybody's here. So we're going with this because we're just thinking of this as the test pilot, just like they would do in a television series, I guess. We're doing the pilot, okay? So with that said, I will begin again. This is the Seers. We are a brand new podcast, and I'm super excited to have Lala Bright and Ann Bender with me in this podcast. They were part of I was asked to help a lady with a missing children's case in Connecticut. And so that is how I kind of asked them, would you help me? Because I will say that Anne, I'm going to have a little list of what Anne is. So Anne she's a psychic. She's an intuitive. She's an author. She doesn't want to be using the word researcher, but I think she's a researcher. She calls it something else. Psychometry. Okay, so that's what Anne loves to do that. And she's helped with many police cases. And she's a paranormal investigator, a remote viewer. All of us have similarities. And remote viewing is one of those similarities. Now, when we go over here to Lala is not just a remote viewer. She's a psychic intuitive. She's a medium, but she's also an experiencer. We're all experiencers, but she is an experiencer of a higher degree. She's a contactee. She has been abducted. This is well documented. She has done a tremendous job also have what the podcast work that she has done. And that's really how I met her, was I saw her through a podcast and then connections with people. And the same with Anne. I ran into her with a connection of another person. And somehow, I just felt drawn to both of them. And then when I found out that they were both remote viewers, I had never really met any others that had been doing what I've been doing. And so I think it's wonderful. This is like a 2 to 3 years. I don't know how many years, maybe 2, that I've kind of known them. So with that said, I want to just get that out there to everyone, that's really the beginning of this. And I want to, I'm going to go ahead and just ask Anne first. Anne, could you tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll go to Lala. Okay.
Well, I grew up scaring my family because my primary gift is acting as a medium. And I would interact with family members that had long passed and describe them in detail. And it terrified those around me because I had never met them in life. And to wrap their minds around it was a struggle. Which is why I wrote my chapter in Perfectly Imperfect. And from there, I started kind of finding my way. I lived next to a serial killer and started dreaming his victims' last moments up in Spokane, Washington. And then when I moved down here to California, I finally found my way with helping specifically children that were dealing with PK, that were dealing with paranormal events and helping those families reunite and communicate better.
I mean, right there, that's just so fascinating. I mean, I mean, it's just, it's like so matter of fact. Well, I scared my family to death as a young child. And then I moved next to a serial killer. And then I was dreaming the dreams. I mean, it's so matter of fact, but these are serious things.
I don't mean to be nonchalant. It's just I've lived it my life.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, just to see been through so many cases over years, so many different scenarios, and I've not seen it all. I'll never say I've seen it all. But I've encountered so many different things from Bigfoot, I almost said Bugfoot, a Bigfoot close encounter to a couple extraterrestrial events, including helping people with cases in that scenario. And a mixture of scenarios where you have dimensional scenarios interfere with paranormal scenarios and all intertwine. I mean, it's endless. The scenarios go on, but the main focus is helping people on both sides of the veil.
Very good. And that's why I like you so much too,
Oh,
as you try to help people. So now let's hear from Lala. So Lala, I know you have a very interesting life, and I would love for you to share that with everybody and share your work and your abilities. Whoop. All right. So we're having a frozen moment. So bear with us, everybody. We might have to get Lala on audio. But she's got some cute pictures. I mean, these could be, I could actually use some of these for still photos. So I guess while we're waiting on Lala's audio, I'll go ahead and kind of share that. It looks like she has a cute little puppy dog in the background. Lala, can you hear us? Okay. I'm going to see if I can text. Okay, while I'm kind of waiting on what's happening, I do see that we do have some people in the chat, and I appreciate Lady Warrior is in the chat with us. Thank you so much. Phantoms and Monsters, thank you so much. Again, this is our trial run, so I appreciate everybody's patience with us. So Lala is a contactee. She's an experiencer. She is a person that helps people. She's a remote viewer. And I don't know if we got audio on her now. Stan, I'm wondering if if we could do audio for Lala only. Okay. So I'm going to reach over, and this is kind of fun, everyone. I mean, this is this is podcasting. This is podcasting live 101. Everything always happens. Sometimes it doesn't, though. You never know.
Can you hear me clearly?
Oh,
or am I going in and out?
I hear you. Yeah, you're good. Oh no.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
sorry.
Can you hear it?
Okay. I can do audio.
Okay, I hear you.
I don't.
You don't hear her? Well, I don't hear
No.
her. I hear her for like a minute, for like a second, and then I don't hear her. So
Can you
I'm
hear
going
me?
to, yes. Can you go ahead and keep talking?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. Okay. So we can hear you and you can hear us. So why don't you talk to us about your experiences and who you are? And while we're trying to do that, I'm going to message her because I don't know if she's hearing me the way we're supposed to be hearing me. Because if she could hear me, then she would be talking. Okay. All right. So
Can you hear me?
yes.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me? Yes. Actually, I am not sure what to do. I think we're just going to have to keep going. So Anne, why don't you go ahead and
Can you hear me?
Oh wait, okay.
Okay.
I guess we'll just, yes.
Oh,
Yes.
how about I listen to you guys? I can hear you guys, yeah.
Okay. You can hear us. Okay, so that's good. Well, we can hear you just now. So if you just keep talking, maybe that would work. Unless your audio, maybe your audio's going in and out. Okay, I think I'm calling this not the first show. I'm calling this a trial run rehearsal. I like that. Do you like that, Anne?
Yeah, I like that. I can't hear her at all. It sounds like basically a staticky EVP sound when she speaks. I can't even
Can
hear
you hear
her.
me now?
Okay, I hear you fine. Can you hear me?
I'm going to turn
Yeah,
video off.
I hear you great.
And do audio.
It's Lala who is on the other planet right now. Sorry, Lola. Bless your heart.
Yeah. Okay. So this isn't the first show. So nix all of the commercials or videos I've been putting. This is the rehearsal. We're doing a rehearsal.
I'm figuring this out.
First
Hold
show
on.
rehearsal.
Sorry.
Yeah, this is a rehearsal. We all need a rehearsal.
Can you?
So I'm just. Yes. Yes, I can hear you. And can hear me. And you hear me?
I hear you great. I cannot hear Lala.
Okay. I hear Lala. It's a Lala. It's the Lala. Lala, come in, Lala.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
It's a Lala. She's gonna come in soon, though. So, well, I'll just talk about Lala since we're going to have to wait. She could come on any time now. So Lala, she's pretty amazing. So she does the face painting and that works with the children. She has a great business doing that. But so she was on a podcast, and I was on the podcast several times, and she was on Explaining the Unexplainable podcast, as Anne was on also on that. And it's so when you listen to Lala, you know that it's pretty much she's the real deal, and she has helped numerous people. You can find her online, just look up Lala Bright. She has tons of interviews where you look up Lala Bright, and you'll find out all about her experiences and the research that she's done. And I think when you both worked with me, I wasn't going to even really talk about that today, but since this is happening, I might as well use this time. So I have the book right here, my book, my very first book. I don't think anybody can really see it. No, you can't. But it's called Through the Veil, A Journey of Remote Viewing, Spirit Communication, and Healing. And she's back. Okay, there's her picture, but no audio. Lala, can you hear us? Okay. I don't think this is working with the audio either. I'm going to text Stan while I keep on working. So in the book, Through the Veil, that's my book. I talk about the case. I talk about the case in Maryland, or not Maryland, but in Connecticut. And both of these ladies are part of it. And what's fascinating is that we all saw similar things, but we did not communicate. I was very clear. I didn't want anybody to communicate, like to know what we all knew. We didn't know what each other was finding. So that was one of the things that I think is really important, is that it just shows how we were able to work together on that case. So that is one thing that I was planning on sharing on a different show, but now I'm sharing it, and I hope that you will look for the book Through the Veil, and then you can read about it if you'd like. And while we're doing that, Anne, can you tell us a little bit about how what you're doing as a paranormal investigator? Because I know you're still doing that, and you just got out of you just did a lecture in
Oh,
California
yeah.
a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So we
Down
can,
in Ventura. That's our annual hotspot. It's also my first vacation of the year because I absolutely love Stefan Brigatti and the whole team that puts on the Paracon at the Majestic Theater. And while I share my things, it's really a meeting of a family when we all get together. I mean, that's the whole heart of any parent conference is getting together, meeting people that time of year that you normally don't get to see, but you think of as family, and you are family in that moment. The whole conference is wonderful. My daughter attends. She sells her jewelries. I sell my jewelry, and we experience the paranormal together. We all always learn something new together, and there's just something about it when you're doing it by yourself. It's very different than when you're gathered in a group. Everything is just magnified and enhanced at a different level.
yeah, and so then that's when you said your daughter, you mean your younger daughter? You only have one daughter, right?
Correct, only with the one, Allie.
Yeah, and so she's selling her oh, that's really neat. She's so adorable. You're a good mom. So on that particular event, let's see, that was I was in San Francisco while you were doing that. So that was
Yep.
pretty cool. I wish I could have stopped and seen you there. But what was the main thing that you talked about at that event? It was something in particular that you want to share?
Both mostly interesting photos and case studies of different scenarios, and I like to always include the stuff that is the real threat. The real carbon monoxide leaks, the CO2 leaks, that the gas leaks that have happened where people thought that the paranormal got their attention to get our help, and we realized very quickly that it was something that was life threatening, and called in the proper authorities and got these leaks stopped. The two are hand in hand, but if you think that everything 100% of the time is one or the other, you're going to get into trouble. And that's where our team and our group, because I work always with somebody else. Readings I do by myself, but for those types of investigations, we take the approach of looking at everything, debunking, using the unseen, and see in looking through that, as well as the physical, understanding physics, understanding critters that are running across the roof at night, and pulling it all together to ultimately help the family. And so that's what my focus is just to not be one extreme or the other. Don't discount anything, because the minute you do that, you're losing evidence and you're losing valuable information.
Right. And think how many people, I mean, because you don't know what's
Oh, what?
happening. If it is whatever it could possibly be, the fact that you're investigating and finding that out and then helping the people, that's the main goal, no matter what. I do want to say that I have just chatted with Lala, and I'm so sorry if you see me putting my head down to,
Oh, no, no.
not that I'm not trying to just ignore you. I'm
I'm just sorry
listening.
we can't hear Lola. I want to hear her too.
So apparently in her area there is a major storm happening, of course, right now, and it's knocked like the whole half the town out. So that's why there's definitely a Wi-Fi problem with that. So she's just going to kind of sit there and just hang with us, okay, and listen. And so we're happy to have her do that. She's smiling. Now, originally, Lala had a really cool background too. Like, and that if anybody's ever done a podcast, you'll realize like how we have to set up our backgrounds and we get it all fixed or whatever. And then if something happens, it's like, you never know what's happening. So she's got her puppy dog there with her. So I hear Joe in the background too. Joe, we're doing a rehearsal today. Actually, we're we're having a rehearsal, so you might as well come and say
Hi, everybody.
Hi,
Hi.
Joe.
it's been kind of a technical. Lala's having a very big storm happening in her area,
Yeah.
so you can't really see her too good. But anyway, so thank you for joining us for the show.
Blessings, everybody. Love you all.
Love you. So so what I wanted to ask you then, Anne, too, was as far as remote viewing, since I think that's one of the things that we all have in common. Tell me what you think. Okay, I've named this, I titled this, I got that it was called The Seers, because like in the book, I have another book out, chapter 2. It's called The Seer. And so I try to talk about what my experience with other people that have the same abilities or similar abilities that I have. And I was wondering what you think that name means to you, The Seers. What does that mean to you?
It just means that for me personally, and I can't speak to anybody else, but I've tuned into a certain wavelength that allows me to get details with my mind's eye that normally people would need their eyes to be able to visualize. But we've learned how to do that with our mind. And it's no difference than speaking to your child and they know what you want, but you haven't said a word out loud. But the child knows exactly what you want. So it's the same type of occurrence, but it's using visual details from a much farther distance. And there's some different ways you can use to tap into that to make it more accurate. And that's by having certain connecting items or connecting people. And connecting people enhances that wavelength, that connection. And then literally it is a wavelength. It's no different than Tesla talked about and Einstein and Edison when they did all their research way back. So they're actually a lot of the founders to what we're doing to this day.
Yes, I totally agree with that. And one of the things I like that you're kind of brought up that thing about the like you already know something before, like somebody's like reading your mind, and our animals do that too.
All the
And
time.
yeah, and I believe that one time we were all on a podcast together where we were talking about the children of autism and how they could talk to each other. Everybody could talk to each other from different locations. And I think that is a really big part of it. Now, I don't think everybody has these abilities. I think there's different parts of like being a psychic, being an intuitive, but when it comes to the remote viewing part, and I tell people that the things that I see or that I write or I draw from what I see, that one always seems to throw people off a little because to me it's like, how does that happen that you can all of a sudden, you're in a session with somebody, and then the next thing I know is I'm like flying, and I'm wondering if I don't know if Lala can hear or she can respond, but this is something to talk about for next time. It's like flying up in the air wherever, going, and I land to a different place where that person might be or something that I need to see, and it's a different time period. Or I'll just end up being someplace in a location, and then I'm seeing that from where I'm at. Speaking of the case that I brought up a little while ago with the children, I'm in Anne and I believe Lala too were very connected. Something about children. I seem to have that coming up with me all the time here on our own property. The seeing the children with all my clients, seeing the children, spirit children, or even children that were them in other time periods or ages is how I'll see clients. I'll see their children like when they were a child. Like if somebody had fallen and gotten hurt at 5 years old, that 5 year old version of themselves will come to me and share with me what happened. So then I can see that and I can help that person with that injury by doing an intuitive remote view session within the body. So that I think that is one thing that we have some similar abilities, but I do not know if both of you work in that same way because I'm work with people as a healer. I mean, I work with them not just as a healer, but like in a medical office too. That's where it all began. So with all that being said, I'm wondering, Anne, since we can't hear Lala right now, and we can hear Joe making ice in the background. Oh, so I need my own little cave, I guess. Anyway, so I'm sorry. Sorry about that. I'm wondering, Anne, do you feel like that ever happens to you? Do you ever kind of like fly like I do, or just land somewhere, or are your abilities different?
That's when I'm astral traveling, not when I'm remote viewing. And there's a difference. Yeah, remote viewing, I'm not physically going to that spot. I'm visualizing that spot. For astral traveling, I actually go to that spot.
Okay.
So very different things. It is easier for me to astral travel when I'm sleeping. It's pretty common for that to happen with a lot of kids. It's a lot safer to remote view and not astral travel. So if you can understand the difference, which is kind of a hard thing to explain when you're not doing it, remote viewing would be much safer because you're not physically letting a part of yourself go there. That makes sense.
True, but I think that you brought up a very good point. I'm making it all sound kind of like la 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 la, making it sound kind of la la la. But you're right. It is. There are protocols that have to be put into place, and that's. I'm glad you brought up about the astral traveling, because yeah, that's. I mean, that is what happens. But it just happens so much with me that it's all kind of like part of it. But that's amazing. But I think I felt more. Mm, I think I was learning when it first started. I was not uh, as guarded as I am now. I, in fact,
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
very naive when it first started, thinking like everything was just wonderful and everybody was just every spirit was what they say they are, but they're not.
They're
So
not. Yeah.
yeah, so it's
Channeling is another
gotcha.
technique where when I'm channeling, I love rocking chairs, by the way, for channeling, because I'll rock back into the past to see everything. It's like a sepia thing, and then I rock into the future. But I have one foot bound, seated in the future or in the present day, and the other chair will rock back. The other foot will control when I go back to that other part, and the rocking chair allows me to do it very smoothly, and it's hard to explain. But when I was filmed, somebody was actually filming, and every time I would rock back into the past, I would go out of focus. They couldn't focus on me. And I was physically back in that era. Everything was sepia. The room was totally different. I could describe exactly what it was. And this was actually in McCallum Hill. But when I'm talking about the rocking chair. And when I would come forward, I was completely in focus. They could see everything. I could see them. But when I went into the back, I couldn't see any of them. I would only see the room as it was. So
And when you say rocking back, do you mean like you were literally rocking or you stopped?
I was literally in a rocking chair.
Okay, and then but when you rock back, did you just
Yep.
stop at all?
I don't know. That's where it gets a little, because I'm in that time period. I really couldn't feel the chair movement, but I could at all times feel my foot that was in present day. So I had one foot that was controlling the rock, but I wouldn't feel anything. I would just simply take note of what I needed to take note of to see in that past event. And ironically, we were there to help a mom and a child. And when I would come forward, that was my recentering. Okay, this is where, I'm still me. I'm not letting anybody take over my body. I was allowing a little peek, per se, and just kept taking little peeks in the rocking chair. So I'm not staying in the past, and I'm not really staying in the present in that moment.
Right. And did you ever feel like, because I know what's happened with me is well, it's like bringing something back with you. So you go there and they're there and you're dealing with them or it or whatever it is or whatever you're seeing. And then, so like, I remember one time in Sedona, just like pulling out, like it was something was going to be very bad. Like something was happening within the visual that was really bad. Sometimes it's perfectly fine. Like I'll be like I could be in the ground looking up and horses are running over me. Like I have a lot of a Native American visuals that'll happen, and a lot of a Native American in people come to the sessions that I'm in, and that's always amazing. But if, and like in one particular case, I remember I felt as if I didn't end that session correctly, or that remote view energy correctly, and like believe that I just, that's what I mean. I believe that they can come, like there's a portal here. I don't know if you can see it, but they come through portals. Everything is like a portal or an opening. And so that's, I think you're spot on. What do you do for protection?
Careful grounding, careful spiritual and personal beliefs that I'm solid in, and that I'm also firm in, much like a mother is with a child. If something's wanting to follow you back, no. The answer is no. And you're firm with your children because you care for them. You're not being mean to them. You're being respectful and setting boundaries for yourself when you're dealing with spirit. And that's super important. That's why I tell, when I make dowsing rods for people, do not practice in your house. Take it outside, take it to a different location, but do not practice those things in your house, because when you're learning, especially, you're more vulnerable for things finding their way in. We've all had it. I know we've all have stories that are those oopses as we were learning. Thankfully, we overcame and we learned from it. But don't learn the hard way.
I think everybody has to somehow learn the hard way. I know that we did. I mean, I did for sure. So, when I brought up portals, I was wondering, have you experienced anything to do with portals, or what do you believe in portals?
Different kinds. You've got your dimensional stuff when you are dealing with not only distant places and planets, but you're dealing with time dimensions. And there's so many different types of dimensions. And you talk about stuff like Skinwalker Ranch and the same sound that happens with those type of dimensional issues. You have other portals that are time oriented, specific to our race and here. And you have portals from back in the day where the Native Americans were the only ones here and we're the strangers. So there's a lot of different types of portals, and some are benign and some are not. So it's a matter of quickly recognizing, are you in a spot where you should be, or are you driving through a spot where you need to not stop? You maybe need to hit the accelerator and go a little quicker.
What do you think about like that's a good one, the warning signs of, like, say for instance you are in a spot, should I keep going or not? Like what do you consider some warning signs?
You listen to your fight or flight response. If your gut says you should not be there, don't be there. I mean, it's no different that when you are dousing and they jet straight back. For me, that's somebody saying out now. You're done. But your gut instinct will tell you, and it's not after doing it this long. There are things that do cause fear, but there's also things that cause fear because they are much stronger and they can do harm. And I have no defense against something like that.
Right.
That fight or flight response. In Michigan, we had a lot of grays. And when you encounter those, when I did growing up, you get out. They weren't friendly. You don't associate and you get away. That fight or flight kicks in full gear. You know you're in danger if you stay.
Right, right. I wish that we could have Lala. I think she can hear us, because that's what I think is important about us, the three of us in particular, is that I think we've each three had different experiences. We have similarities, but we also have um, differences. So I really would love to hear what Lala has to say on that right now. So we'll have her talk next time about that. Um, I particularly, um, I have communicated. I communicate with what I would consider like star people. I have not communicated with, or uh, I don't believe anything from the star people has been negative for me. Um, in fact, there's so many times I can't tell you. Like like 5 years ago is when it started. I would sit out there and we talk to the stars or say hi to the stars or say hi to the people, and I'd say, "All right, I would like to see a falling star." And I would get, "Can I see a falling star?" And I would get a yes. I get a yes. And then I'd say, I'd say, like, how many seconds? 20 seconds. And so I can't tell me how many times it worked. Like instantly, the falling star would happen. And every single night, more than once. And so that was when I realized, like, there's something amazing happening here. And we've seen some things on our property that are just almost phenomenal. Nothing's with that has ever been scary. Thank goodness, because we had all the other stuff that was super scary, like more of the demonic. And I know a lot of people don't want to talk about the demonic, but that literally was what was here. And the battle was here from all the battles that were here. And but I think that I think I consider myself kind of lucky that I haven't had any experiences with anything like a gray, like you're talking about, that has been scary for me. I believe that they're out there, and I believe that there's good and bad. I definitely believe that. I honestly, I do so much research right now with missing 411. I we have missing 411 cases here in our own area, and I listen to the Missing 411 podcast, which I absolutely love, his shows and all that. But when we talk about how these people are just stolen, basically, and or they're just missing instantly, and then their clothes are neatly placed next to where they were. I mean, that to me, that there's something nefarious happening. And then a lot of people are found that are dead, the animals and all the different things. So I really want to have that conversation with Lala too. But Anne, what do you think about that? Do you think that you understand that we all have different ways of experiencing these situations?
Well, you have so many different races that we're interacting with. And inadvertently there have been people within government who have verified this information, that there are so many different, probably more races than we even realize. And that's evidenced by the different types of shapes in the ships seen in the sky. different races, different types of ships, different shapes to it, different types of movement, different types of sightings and interactions. Um, so there is, do we know? No, we don't. We don't have any answers for fact, but I think we're silly to discount every single one. That's what I was talking earlier. If you discount everything, you're discounting valid evidence in that at that moment. And it's not to say every single one is something that's real or valid. There are a lot of AI fakes out there, and that just breaks my heart. That's the downside to AI right now. But the nefarious stuff, yeah, it absolutely happens. But I think there are so many different races that it's originating from. Um, I don't know that. I think some of the races get a bad rap because another one that's even worse will come in, and so they think it's all the same one. And no, there's different ones with different types of intents.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. And when you look at it and think of it like the different races, and then it's almost like the thing with the entities here that we have to deal with or that we also see. Because there's so many different varieties of those. There's so many good ones. And I always try to say, like, there's so many good spirits on this land that I am on. And I know that those spirits, they're the ones that I was seeing, the spirits of the good children, the children. There's some children that were manipulated and looked like children, but they weren't. But there really were lost children, or children that were just stuck here. And then the beautiful animal spirits that were here, and that's what, like, the new song out, Shadows of the Desert, which was written 2 years ago. But like, that song is celebrating so much of, like, their voice. Like, tall pine is a big spirit. He's a spirit of a tree. He's a spirit of the tall pine tree. But that's like a big helper here. And then there's the white owl. So the white owl spirit, and then the spirit of the hawk. So all of these creatures and spirits are part of what I do, and that's part of what I've seen. And have you seen do you see a lot of animal spirits like I do?
Yeah, I do. I don't talk about it, but I do.
You know what? I think, see, that's why I think that's why, I mean, there's things that we can talk about, there's things that we can't talk about. And that's what I really wanted to do about this particular show, the Seers, because I have my ways, you have your ways, Lala has her ways. And then when we have our special guests that will be coming on, each one of them has their own specialness. And I believe that it's like we can work all together. It's all about the differences make us so special, but they really connect us with the things that really are connecting us. Do I even make sense?
Yeah, you do.
I think I'm trying to make sense, but that's one reason, like, instead of just one opinion, like just me up here in my opinion, I knew that in order to reach the most people, we have to have a variety of of precious beings that are able to communicate and share the things that they're doing here on this world. And you two are two precious beings to me. And I thank you both for being here. And it's like we got 3:25 our time, and so we've got like 5 minutes left for the show. Or is it a show, or is it a trial run rehearsal? It's a rehearsal. It
Practice,
is.
take one.
Practice, yes, this is a practice. And I know the next time we come back, Lala is going to be set up. There's not going to be any storms. It's going to be perfect. And it's all good. It's all perfect. Um, so Anne, I feel bad. I can't say, Lala, what do you think? But Anne, what would you like people to know a little bit? One last thought about you that would make them come back again to find out more about you next week or the week after.
I think there'll be a lot of things on here that I talk about and share that will be helpful for people. There'll be things that I don't normally share as well, so
Yeah.
you might get some more insight about me. Yeah, sometimes you'll flip through people's pages and you'll, they're interesting, but you don't really know why. You're curious. I think there'll be a lot of conversations on here that'll really bring out the Gemini that I am. For I can't wait to get to know Lala more and you more as well. So I think we're going to get to know each other in this journey together. This is a journey. This whole podcast is a nice little trip we're going to take together, and I think we're going to sharpen some of our gifts along the way as well.
I think so too. I think so too. And I love what you said. And I can hardly wait to hear. We'll ask Lala. We'll ask you that next time. I'm like, she's here. She's just
It's right
sitting
there.
in the room. But yeah, and I think that one of the things I noticed when I reached out to everyone is I think a lot of it the the is that we could help more people. That's like a big thing. Like
Yeah.
think of how many people out there are like us that absolutely won't share anything about them. And I think about how long I've taken to where I actually will share the things. When I was doing a lot of the work at the one medical office, that was a key word. It was a medical office. Okay. So you didn't share. I didn't go out sharing anything in public. That was my communication with people, and that they were the same way. Nobody wanted to share all this, but the little by little, as I became back in the podcast world, little by little, you can see I keep taking bigger steps to get to this point. So you know what, whatever people want to say or think about me or anybody that's like me, I'm like, Joel, we'll just watch the show because we're all just really just trying to do our best in this world. We're trying
Yeah.
to help people. And then the aliens are here. I love Bill Bean. The Bill Bean, I was listening as I'm on his warrior mode. I like do warrior mode. Like I'm on the chat, helping with the chat since I've known him. I'm on his chat, like helping. And he said the other day that that's like the big thing in the news, right? Is that the aliens are coming. He goes like, I got to tell you, the aliens are already here. And I'm like, that's so true. Like they've already come in, they're already here. They've already been doing whatever they're doing, and they just, it's all been kind of, hidden from us. But it is true. I mean, we are dealing with there's some new things happening in our world. We know it. And those of us that are a little bit more in tune and not just always in the world. When you're in the world, you don't see. You have to go, you have to step outside and get out of that world and be more and like in the spirit, in with spirit. And then that's how, like, that's what she's doing. She says, talking about rocking. So she transports into other places with her calmness in the rocking. I think that's amazing. I'm gonna have to get a rocking chair. I love that idea. Well, I'm over talking again. Oh, it's 3:29. TikTok. Well, I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to Stan Fikes, our producer, for instead of taking a night show that he always does, he's doing this special day show for us, and I really appreciate that. I really wanted to have this show on the WEBB Radio Network because Stan is such a great producer, and I'm so glad that these girls here could line up their schedules to fit. We could all fit to time together. And I know that next week or whenever we come back, we're not sure exactly how many times we're doing this podcast a month yet, but we will all be sharing for sure what is happening. And Lala's going to come back, right, Lala? I think her doggy's on the pillow. All right, Ann, do you want to say anything else before we say goodbye?
No, just don't. If you're looking or watching the show, just know this is a safe spot where you've got three ladies here. None of us are going to judge you. This is a judgment free, safe zone to ask the questions. Come in anonymous if you want to hide your identity, but ask the questions that you have always been wondering about, always been curious about. This is a safe.
Good idea. Good. Yeah, because all my other shows are about the questions. Yes, do that. And then also, please know that we are here to help. If you need Lala's services, just look her up. If she does readings, and I just found them. It was really cute how she said, if you're alive or if you're deceased. She was really cute. I wrote it down. I just thought it was so cute. But so it's on her little her promo on Google, so and on her website. So yeah, so reach out to her because I know I know people. I've had readings from her. She's done a reading with me. I've done a reading with her. So it's like I do believe in her. In fact, I never, never, I never tell anybody to go get a reading from anybody, but I did for Lala. Now Anne too. I believe in Anne and I believe in Lala, but there's a couple of other people. But of all the people I know, and I know a lot of people, I just don't say, hey, just go do that. I do only recommend like 2 or 3 people. These are 2 of them. So just know that. And of course, you can always call me too because I do sessions on the phone. So I think we all can do sessions from where we are. We don't have to physically come to your house, but I know that we could physically come to your house if it's in a location. I know I've gone to many people's places. Anne has her own paranormal company, that she's worked with and works with, and Lala has people she works with. So, and we'll talk about that more when we come back the next time. We've got lots to talk about Lala the next time. All right. Thank you all for those of you that did join us. And again, this was a test run. This was a rehearsal, a dress rehearsal. So the next one's going to be just off the charts amazing. I think it still turned out great. I think we got a lot of great information out no matter what we did. So it was awesome. We came, we saw, we conquered. All right, thank you. This is the Seers, and we thank you for being